Welcome to Get the Pen. This is Janine, folks, and you have stopped by my channel, and I appreciate that. I hope you subscribe. I hope you like. I hope you comment. I like to hear your feedback. Today, I want to shout out Minister Latoya Warren. She was one of the first people who trusted me to assist her with her project, her self published book journal. It's called The Search by Minister Latoya Warren. Make sure you look her up on Amazon. I learned so much from her. It's always a pleasure working with her, speaking with her. Just a phenomenal person. Love you, Latoya. And I just want to also remind you to check out Let Me Shine by me, my third book of poetry. I'm not really going to do a reading today. I just want to get right into my topic, my thought this week. It is not a sexy topic. It is a topic that most want to avoid, but each one of us will face at some point in time. And it's called a peaceful death. Uh, I work in the death industry, death and dying, as a hospice chaplain for the nearly past 20 years. So I've been around the dying for a lot, and I've seen many situations. And even though we all know we're going to die, we don't dwell on it. We don't even like to talk about it, and that's okay. We don't have to talk about it or think much about it, even though some of us do. But my hope is that we can be at peace with it, at peace with the fact that we won't be here forever. We're not ready to go right now. No, we're here on assignment doing things, trying to stay well, trying to take care of ourselves, trying to be healthy, trying to be happy, and trying to thrive. That's what most of us are focused on as we continue to live and learn and love and set goals and try to accomplish things to make this whole experience a little more pleasant, or as pleasant as we possibly can. But we all know that at some point this will cease. And every day we deal with grief as we lose people around us, and that is very sad and hurtful, and very difficult oftentimes to deal with, let alone thinking about our own mortality is really, really hard. So I just wanted to quickly talk about dying uh, with peace, and how a gift that is, because we don't get to determine how we leave here. We don't know if we're going to leave tragically. We don't know if it will be an illness. We don't know if it will be old age. There's so many unknowns, so many unanswered questions as far as when, how, we will leave here, and what circumstances will exist for us. We don't know. And even with all of those unanswered questions, I'm hoping that you can find a sense of peace with it, even though it can be frightening, because we don't want to leave here. We want to live, and God gives us that will and desire to live, because if we didn't have it, we would just be, existing probably in, a miserable state. And we don't want that. God doesn't want that for us. He wants us to live life abundantly. He wants us to enjoy life, even though life isn't always going to be all smiles and giggles. We're going to be tearful at times and sad. Life is like waves, it's up and down, and it's yin and yang, and there's balance up and down. And we can't stay on one plane forever. Like, we can't stay all the way up all the time or down all the time. It's always up and down, and that gives balance to life, and that is normal. So our expectation shouldn't be that, okay, every day I'm going to be happy and on top of the world. There are going to be days where we feel maybe flat or just flat out down, and we just have to know how to navigate those times when we feel that way, and to know that this is temporary and that this too shall pass, that we will get through it, and we will feel better again. We will smile again. We will be happy again. And then we may have more sadness in the future. That's why I kind of have an issue with songs that say things like I cried my last tear or I'm not going to cry anymore, because that's so unrealistic and it's setting up, an unattainable expectations that you're never going to cry anymore. We don't know, because you don't know what could happen in the future that might make you cry. So we shouldn't say things like that, because it's just not true and it's just not realistic. I may cry again, but what I can, change is how I respond to my sad days, how I respond to myself crying. I don't have to fall into despair, even though I'm sad. I may be sad, I may be hurt. I must also be aware that I will get through that moment and that that moment is temporary, and that I am not hopeless even in my sadness. So we can say that, we'll never be hopeless again, or that we will handle things better, because the more we know, the better we can deal with things. But to say that I'll never cry again, we just really don't know that. You may be able to say, I'm not going to cry about that again because I'm healed from that particular thing or situation or issue that you've been, you know, delivered from, and it doesn't hurt you anymore. But to say you're not going to cry again, it's just not realistic. We're going to have ups and downs in life, and we just have to be aware of it and know that whether we're up or down, that everything's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. So, back to the peaceful death. The reason I want to talk about this is because I've watched people die. I've watched people at the end of life time and time and time again. And the vast majority of the time, they are at peace. And there is a grace that comes with dying, a grace where you sense God's presence and you know what's next and you're not afraid of it. I've been around many people who maybe in the beginning fought and they didn't want to go. They didn't want to die. They were just terrified of it, right? But after a while, they came to terms with it. And that's not to say that they didn't have faith in being healed and recovering, because, yeah, we can have faith, but healing is not always a physical recovery. Healing can be coming to terms with my time is up. It's time for me to go to my next thing. And a lot of, people, God helps us to get to a place of peace with it. And I think the hardest thing for the dying person is when their family members and loved ones don't want to let them go, who want to hold on to them. And I get that, because we don't want to lose the people we love. I don't want to let go of the people I love. And that's a process too, even when you're losing somebody, coming to terms with that and trying to be unselfish about it and allowing them to go through their process without being a hindrance, without trying to hold on to them and hold them back. Of course, there are times when we do have to hold on to our loved ones and help them to feel safe and secure and have their backs and be their support system. And we just have to discern when it is time to release them and to let God be in control of their destiny, because their assignment could just very well be over. And that's not always up to us. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but I think this might help someone. If you know someone who is going through that, who may have a terminal illness or a situation or an injury that could be terminal and they may be leaving here. Um, I'm praying that they would find just a sense of peace, and that you would find a sense of peace if you are losing someone. That peace, that is attainable. That is the grace of God. That is supernatural. And I've seen it, and it is real, where people get to a point where I'm just so done with this place, with this whole earth experience. And they're ready to move on, and their bodies are just giving out on them, and they're okay. They're not fighting they're not crying. And if they do cry, it's only because they love you and they're going to miss you too. And they're not so much sad about dying, but they're sad about the separation that's about to happen. The family members, the loved ones that they're going to leave behind, that makes them sad too. But they also know that there is something so beautiful and peaceful beyond words waiting for them on the other side. And I believe that God sometimes gives them a glimpse of it just to give them that peace to where, oh, I want to go. I want to feel that peace that surpasses understanding, the real peace that passes understanding. And it's indescribable. And when someone gets a glimpse or that a feeling of that, man, you try to pull them back to earth, that's like it's almost like torture making them stay, when they're ready to go to that peaceful place, to that peaceful existence, to be with their creator, their source, their God. Um, there is no fear in that. There is no pain in that. So let the dying die in peace and allow them that space for peace. And I pray for your peace that you can have peace with allowing them to go to that realm where they're trying to travel to. And remember that a part of them is always with you. They're never completely separated from you. They may be absent physically, but they're present in your heart, in your thoughts, in your memories, and they will make themselves known. They'll make their presence known to you, and you'll know what I mean. But I just kind of wanted to talk on having peace with dying, for the dying and for the grieving. Have peace with dying because none of us gets out of here alive, right? Nobody gets out of here alive. We all it's a path we all got to go down, and we're in no hurry to go. We're enjoying this life, this place, and doing the best we can to live our best lives. And I want you to live your best life, and you should live your best life. When it's time to turn the page and when it's time to make that exit, I pray that that goes well also and that it is a peaceful and beautiful experience because it can be. It doesn't have to be horrific or sad. Let us find beauty and peace in the dying and in dying, and let us learn to grieve and find growth in our grief. This has been a Get the Pen moment. My name is Janine, folks. I hope you subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.